Today I have Lyle Taylor in the studio. Lyle, thank you so much for sparing the time to come and see us. I know this is a non-training day for you, but nevertheless, it is great to see you here when you should be resting, I think. So if we could start by hearing a little bit about your journey from when you were very young and through school to the point where you very first started your career.
So first off, thanks for having me. And so I always wanted to play football from the minute I could walk. My mum will tell me that I had a ball and I was always kicking stuff and whatever. I think that's actually why I ended up with I've got a scar on my shin from kicking a milk bottle that I was told not to kick, and it shattered and glass went in my leg. But I always wanted to play football, and throughout school and my younger years, it was always, I suppose, learning how to kick stuff. And it sounds so ridiculous, but it is quite literally, it's just motor memory. It's how can I kick this from here to there, or how can I make this ball go round that corner, and just things like that.
So it was something innate in you, wasn't it? And so this love of football was innate, and you found very quickly that you were good at it. Do you think you were good at it because you loved it, or you loved it because you were good at it?
I don't know. I suppose in respects to that, it's like chicken and egg. Which came first? Did I love football so I played it, or did I just happen to find I was good at it, so therefore I loved it because I was good at it? I don't know. I don't remember. All I know is it was, I suppose, a talent of mine, and because I enjoyed it and I had that talent, I wanted to do what I could with it.
You did your GCSEs. You did quite a few GCSEs as well, didn't you?
Yes. I think when you break them all down into individual sciences and English and IT and whatever else I did, I ended up with 14. So
right. So that sounds pretty academic.
I ended up with a lot of GCSEs.
You did your GCSEs, and you obviously were academic enough to go on to do A levels, but you chose instead, because of your love for football, to go to a particular college where you could play football as well. So where was that?
I went to Kingston College in southwest London, and they said that I was overqualified to do a national diploma in sport. And that was kind of, well, no, I want to play football, so I'm doing a national diploma in sport. They ended up pulling my parents in, and my parents basically just echoed what I'd said. He wants to play football, so let him play football. Eventually they let me on the course, and I suppose the rest college-wise is history. I did the course and did well on the course, and I was able to play football 3 times a week, which was what was most important to me.
You actually started to sort of more formally play football when you were 10, when you were very first selected for trials, weren't you? So tell us about that side of what was happening whilst you were at school. You were being selected for different trials and, taken on in various academies and things. So tell us about that.
So I started playing organised football, as it were, when I was 10. So I played for Elms Junior Football Club, which was Catford. And my dad took me, and I soon figured out that I was a good player, and I was then taken on for Bexley District, and I then represented the district, and we got a little badge that you used to put on the sleeveless shirt and stuff like that. So that was really good. Wasn't ever really that interested in organised football before that point. And then after that, I think I'd have been under 13, so I'd have been 12 or 13 years old. I spent a whole season on trial at Charlton and Crystal Palace, only to be told that I wasn't good enough and wasn't big enough.
Right, okay. So how did you feel and cope with that?
I don't really remember how I coped with it at that age. I don't remember it ever being that big an issue for me, because at the same time all that was going on, I was playing for Paul Elliott's football academy. So that went on for 5 years, kind of in the background, where we'd go to tournaments in the summer and we'd play against random professional clubs of our age group and things like that. So I don't remember it ever hitting me that hard. And at 13, there's always plenty more years.
Yeah. Well, I think some, it would sort of put them off, but, you seem to be, well, you were so focused and so determined even at that early age that you were continuing. You then went into Millwall, didn't you? And
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So I was scouted while I was at college. I had a really good first season as a 16-year-old playing under 18s, and then up until Christmas I was on fire. I'd scored so many goals that my little brother was at Millwall, and my stepmom said Celtic have scouted Lyle. So, but he's on the doorstep, why haven't you looked at him? And Millwall kind of almost begrudgingly said, all right, fine, we'll look at him. They took me in for a trial, and they had me on trial for 5 months at the end of the season, 2008 this would have been. Eventually decided they'd give me a contract. 6 months into that contract, they then decided I wasn't good enough, and they were releasing me as well.
Right.
Which was tough.
And that
tough.
one did affect you. You
That
were quite
affected
upset
me,
by that, weren't you?
I remember coming out of the meeting, being on the phone to my stepmom in tears in the car park, trying not to let any of the pros see me. Basically saying, I don't know what to do, I might as well just give up. And I had a real defeatist attitude to it. And my stepmom said to me, look, she said, you can stand there, you can cry about it, you can say, oh, woe is me, or you can suck it up and you can prove them wrong. You can stand there, you can cry about it, you can say, oh, woe is me, or you can suck it up and you can prove them wrong. She said, it's up to you. By the time you get home, let me know what you want to do.
And what did you do?
I decided that I would use almost a strong feeling of hatred and injustice to push me on for the next probably 6 years.
Yeah, so that was like your rocket fuel. Sometimes, you know, in the face of sort of the greatest adversity and some of the worst moments of our lives can turn out when you look back.
Yeah.
You can pinpoint that, as you are doing now, and say that was one of the best things that could happen because it propelled you forward so much.
Yeah.
And obviously your stepmum was great in saying those words just at that right time as well. People don't realise, and you're obviously doing it now with young people, that sometimes, you know, just a few well-chosen words at the right time can just really change someone's life.
Exactly.
As that did for you. You then, with, you know, being propelled forward like that with that rocket fuel, you then went on to join another team. And tell us about that.
So I went into non-league football and joined Concord Rangers, and Danny Cowley, who is now the Lincoln City manager, he was the manager back then. And after the first session, his brother, who was the captain, played centre midfield, who's now his assistant at Lincoln, he said he walked over to his brother and said, Dan, we got to sign him. He said, I've seen enough, we got to sign him. And he was playing at the time, and Danny said, yeah, I want to sign him. That's it. I want him. And he was brilliant for me. He, after 6 months after I'd just had the biggest kick up the backside and used that real negative feeling to drive me forward, I had the most positive influence that at that point I'd had. And Danny basically said to me, go and win me the game. You play on the left, you play up front, go and win me the game. Whatever you do, go and win me the game. And that was the best thing that happened to me at that time. And even to this day, I still speak to him, and we still sit and talk about the things that happened and the things he did for me and the things I did for him, because he says to me, I wouldn't be where I am without what you did for me that year.
It was a great sort of combination of efforts and a great sort of team.
Exactly.
But what it gave you was that sense of responsibility to go and do what you love doing anyway, and that you knew you'd be able to do. So it sort of, whereas you had the stick before, you can't do it, and now you had the sort of the carrot, as it were, you can do it, and the incentive to do it. One of the things that could have happened when you were told you weren't good enough was that you would just go on giving up, not doing it. But having said that, you loved it so much. Could anything have stopped you doing it?
In that moment, I could have gone either way. It was one of those where the emotion was running so high and so strong that I could have gone the wrong way.
So you could have almost cut your nose off to spite your face.
Exactly.
And not done it just to almost prove a point to other people.
Yeah. I'm not going to do this. You've said I can't do it. Fine. All right. And I suppose it almost seems backwards, because if somebody says you can't do something, why would you not do it? You want to prove, I can do it, and I'll prove I can do it.
And is that what you would say to people that maybe experience that or are experiencing that now, particularly in your field where it's so competitive? Because the truth of the matter is, the vast majority of people won't be able to do it. So you've got to be either, You've either got to be completely oblivious or a real dreamer, or what have you got to be to carry on doing it?
Even to this day, if you tell me I can't do it, I'll find a way to do it, just to turn around to you and almost stick two fingers up at you and go, told you I'd do it.
Yeah. And I think that applies, that trait is something that we'd recommend to everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah, doesn't matter what field you're in.
It's one of those, it's transferable to any field, any job, any part of life. And it's not just about what you do in your job or what you do in your private life. It's absolutely everything. It comes down to as far as parenting, and it's the smallest little things, but things like that, and attitude to graft and working hard is generic. It's something you have to have regardless of whether you want to play football or go to war or become a beauty queen or anything you want to do. You have to have that singular mindset and that drive and the fire within yourself. If you don't have it within yourself, I don't think you're going to get anywhere.
And the great news is for that, anyone can develop that from now, like today, this minute, listening to this podcast. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did producing it. It was really insightful, wasn't it, from Lyle? And if you like it, then please click on the link below, subscribe, like it, and you'll be notified then of all the future podcasts that we do. As I said, this is our 50th, and we're looking forward to continuing to release these every week for many years to come. So enjoy.